So I was in Pam Money's chat and I met AQUATICS. And he got me all inspired to get my own little fish tank. Yes. So today we're going to go hunting for fish. And AQUATICS, I'm going to have a few questions for you. So stay tuned.
Yo, what is up, all you stone cold, super fly, stylistic monk, King Kongs of aquariums? You watching Aquatic. That's right, the original UFO, the unadulterated funky one. Hey, if any of you creators ever wanted to start an aquarium, shoot me a little video. I'll go ahead and address all your issues. And hopefully somebody else who might have the same issues can benefit from that. So Joy from Be The Difference Clothing, who has a existing channel, you guys should check her out. She's it's kind of, I call them variety channels. It's all over she, you know, she's working out, she's cooking, she's doing all kinds of stuff. Listen, if you are watching this and you are a fish keeper, you're a fan of my channel, a subscriber, go over there and let her know that, you know, we're here and we're rooting for her. If you have any ideas that I didn't cover, leave it in the comments below. So, okay, Joy, let's watch what she put out, all right? Let's check this out real fast.
There we go. Look how much fishy fish. Look at those cute little fish. Oh no. Oh, I thought he was dead. What kind of gravel should I use in my new tank? I just want to know. These are cute. Like a regular goldfish. I remember goldfish when I was little. How do I know, like, this by coming into the store which fish is healthy? If I wanted to buy some. Oh, look at that one, just cleaning the tank. You see him right there? He's cleaning the tank. He's cleaning the tank. That's so dope. I want to get something, but I definitely want to make sure I do the right thing. I need you to help me figure out what I should get. Big tank, small tank, what kind of fish I should get that will live in there together peacefully. And how to maintain it. So look at the style.
Listen, she's new at this. She doesn't want to get taken for a ride. You know what I mean? Money's hard to come by these days. And she wants every penny that she spends to be worth something and be impactful in this fish keeping hobby. She doesn't want to just throw her money away. And that's a fear a lot of people have. So let's talk about your very first aquarium first. Where should you get it? I'm going to be 100%. A lot of people might get mad at me. I have no problems with going to the big box stores and getting those kits for first-time aquarists. These kits have everything in them. They have the tank, they have a filter, they have a heater. They do have your first chemicals, a little packet of fish food, and this, that, and the other. But for me, the big thing is that it's easy. All right. Your first time Aquarius already is, you know, stress level is up to there. So let's not make it more difficult by sending her all over the place and getting a little piece here, a little piece there, a little bit. Let's go ahead and make it easy. You put the tank up, you put it with water, you put the heater, you put the filter. Now, the only problem I do have with some of these, you know, instant kits is I don't like the thermometer. So while you're at the big box store or any place that has these kits, you can even get on. I think Chewy has a really good one for the cheapest. It's like $113, which sounds like a lot, but you gotta remember these things are gonna be around for years. Okay, years you're gonna have this thing. So don't get hung up on that $113. In fact, if you try and go cheaper, you're probably going to have a lot of issues. So now, these kits, especially what I'm talking about, these kits, I'm talking about a 20-gallon kit. I'm not a fan of the 10-gallon kits, and I'm gonna tell you why. 10-gallon kits may seem, you know, $75, $100, but the problem is I believe you are going to be successful. We are going to be successful together, and you're gonna want to get something bigger. 10 gallons restricts a lot of the things. When you get your first tank, you have so many options. 10-gallon tanks cut your options in like half or more, you know. So don't even bother with the 10-gallon kits. You're gonna regret getting a 10-gallon tank. Bigger is always better, but price-wise for your first time, I say get a 20-gallon kit. It gives you a lot of options that are out there for fish. So one of the things I don't like is their thermometers. Okay, the thermometer on a lot of these kits are the sticker thermometers that go on the outside. I have a problem with that because I don't care about the temperature of the glass on the outside of my aquarium. I care about the temperature of the water on the inside of my aquarium. So I really suggest you get one of those mercury ones that has a suction cup. It's more accurate. It does come with a heater. It comes with a filter. As far as filtration goes, listen, 20-gallon tank, first tank, the filter, let's say AQUA. Let's say you got AQUA. The filter is fine for a 20-gallon tank with very minimum stocking, which means you're not overloading the tank. As a first-time fish keeper, that's all you're going to want to do is overload the tank. You're not going to know what type of fish you're into yet, so you're going to be throwing a lot of stuff at it, trying to figure out who you are as a fish keeper. If you want to upgrade and get yourself another hang-on-the-back filter that has a lot of filtration, for instance, get yourself one of these TIDALs so you can put 2 filters on there. You really can't over-filtrate. Now, the TIDALs will have plenty of biological filtration to keep your tank. So 2 filters will allow you to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? In the long run, that little bit of extra money that you invest is going to save you time, money. If you have kids in the house, you ain't going to have to, go crazy over explaining what happened. All right, so you raised a great question. How do you know what fish is healthy or not? Well, there are some things you can look at that will help you make the best choice. But I'm going to have to be 100% honest with you. I don't care how long you've been doing this. The chances of you getting a sick fish, it's possible. It happens to me. It happens to everybody still. But we want to try and minimize the chances of that. So when you're looking for fish at the fish store, first of all, where you get your fish is a big deal. Now, you may have bought your aquarium kit at a Petco or PetSmart, or it was a Whole Pets. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Those big box stores is what we call them. Don't really have the best fish keeping practices. Not saying all of them do. I'm just saying, pound for pound, the best place you're going to get fish is from one of these mom and pops like Eddie's Pet Store. Do your reviews, all right? Do your reviews. See how many, if people are saying, the store is bunk, they don't know what it is, but take it with a grain of salt. Also, every time nobody ever writes good stuff. More people write bad stuff than good stuff. So, take it with a grain of salt on the reviews, but do your review on where you get them from. The mom and pop ones, you'll have a better chance. Not saying it's guaranteed, not saying you'll never get a sick fish, but you have a better chance of getting a healthy fish from a mom and pop. Normally, because those places usually hire fish geeks that take a little bit more urgency in taking care of fish. The big mom and pop, the big box stores, they kind of just pretty much will hire anybody. If you're lucky enough to get a person at one of these places that is a fish geek, then good for you. It happens. I'm not saying it doesn't. It's just it's a chance thing. So I would get my supplies from the big box stores, and I would get my fish from a mom and pop store. So you wanna see if they're lively and their colors are brilliant. Like if you look at them and it looks like, those colors look kind of, dull. No, don't mess with it. You want to make sure they're lively. You want to make sure their colors are brilliant. You want to make sure their fins are all spread out. You don't want their fins to be all closed up. That's a sign of something bad. You don't want to see them all kind of sluggish and just bleh. That's a sign of something bad. You want to really look at their body. If you're buying a fish, their body should be 100%. You'll be able to see an abnormality. If you see a bump, it's probably a sign of something worse. If you see a cut, they could end up with a fungus. So you want to really look at each do not let these people just reach a net in there and grab whatever. You say, no, I want that one. All right? Don't think just because you're new at this that you in some kind of a position to just be at their mercy. That's one thing that I always see, and it drives me nuts. Open your mouth. Tell them, no, not that one, that one. If they got a problem with it, deuces. I'll go somewhere else. All right? You are the one with the money. You are the one that are going to have to take care of these fish. So do not let them just walk over you and give you whatever. All right? If you got a question, hey, whoa, buddy. Stop 1 minute. Let's talk about this first. You want to know, that's my biggest advice. Don't think just because you're new at this that you can just take whatever they give you, all right? So, all right, got me all excited and stuff. Got my pressure all up. So, you want to make sure that, like, if you can, well, I'm gonna say if you can, demand that they sprinkle a little bit of food in there, all right? The fish should be very aggressive eating. The fish that I'm talking about, at least with you guys, they should be very aggressive at eating. Now, they might tell you, oh, I just fed them. All right, well, I'll come back then because I really want to see them eat. Be the boss. All right, be the boss. You got the money, you got the power, be the boss. Insist that they sprinkle a little. The tiniest bit should make them all run. They don't have to feed them like, you know, a four-course meal. The tiniest bit should make them go. You mentioned the suckerfish. Now, the suckerfish that you was actually looking at, it's a scavenger. That was actually a Chinese algae eater. I do not suggest that at all for a 20-gallon tank. I'm gonna tell you what's the best cleanup fish you can get. Cory cats, bristlenose plecos, but the males got these. It looks gross to me, but they do well. Otocinclus. A lot of times they'll be called otos. They look just like those. They about the same size, and they look similar to those Chinese algae eaters. If you're not, you know, familiar with the Chinese ones, well, just don't get the Chinese snails. But get the snails that tell them, don't just get any snail, all right? Neorite snails or a mystery snail would do good. Shrimp are a good cleanup crew depending on what type of fish you get. If you get itty bitty little teeny weeny like the guppies, you were pointing at the guppies. The guppies actually make a good first time fish if you don't mind having a lot of babies, because they do produce a lot of babies. I suggest getting either barbs or gouramis as your first fish to put in this 20-gallon, because the barbs come in so many different colors. I will tell you this: stay away from tiger barbs because they are fin nippers, and if you decide to get a long fin fish later on, your tiger barbs might have a you know, something to say about that. But there are plenty other, there are cherry barbs, ruby barbs. There's all kinds of stuff out there. Get with your local local fish store on which one is best for you, or look up barbs, Google barbs, and start reading up on which one you want. I suggest barbs and gouramis. I don't suggest tetras. Listen to me. Tetras are one of the most widely sold types of fish that you're gonna get at any pet store. And the reason why I don't suggest them is because I don't to me they are on the delicate spectrum. You know, ick. They're smaller the fish, the bigger the issue. So I don't suggest tetras. I personally never had a whole lot of luck with them. When I worked in pet stores, you know, they have a die-off where people are like, yeah, another tetra died, and you don't want that for your first tank. I don't suggest getting African cichlids. A lot of places you'll see the mixed Mimbuna tank where you buy 5 for $20 and you're like, oh yes. The problem is Mimbunas are highly aggressive, so trying to add other fish in there, which you're gonna want to do, is very dangerous for the fish. You're just throwing money away. We talk about substrate because these kits don't come with gravel or the, you know, substrate, the stuff that goes on the bottom. I would suggest getting sand. Listen, here's a problem I have with gravel, and a lot of people do have problems with gravel, is starting out, you have a problem overfeeding. It's not that you're bad, it's just we all do that. We all had a problem overfeeding when we first started because we want to see our fish eat. It's one of the best ways to get instant reaction from your fish, but it's one of the worst things you can do for your tank. That food falls from the top, gets inside the nooks and crannies of the rocks, and just sits there and festers and turns into ammonia and kills your fish. So I would suggest sand. Sand doesn't have all those little itty bitty grooves. The food will fall on top of it. Your other fish can still eat it. Your bottom fish, your scavenger fish, any fish you bought from the bottom, your catfish, snails, whatever, it's easily, you know, attainable to get to them. Some of your fish like to kick up the sand and stuff like that. That'll push the food up in the water column where your filter can get it. So I suggest getting sand. Now, there's another reason why I suggest sand is because you can actually go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy yourself all natural 100% play sand for $5 for a big bag. You do have to rinse it out pretty well until there's no debris in the water before you put it in the tank. But for the price, yeah. You put a little bit of sand in the bucket, squish it up, you know, empty the dirty water out, put more water, empty the dirty out, and then you do that and you have a tank full of sand for $5. The problem with sand at the big box stores is a small bag by itself is like $8. So I suggest sand. Decorations, I'm being 100% honest with you. That's total. That's your preference. You know, there's a lot of things you go to Hobby Lobby and get like these fake silky plants. You know, instead of getting the plastic plants at the pet store that are way more expensive. You could go get yourself a terracotta pots. You know, them pots like that right there. You can put that in there, or you can go ahead and do the SpongeBob thing. It's up to you. That's your preference. I prefer doing the pot and the silk plants because it's cheap and it don't look bad. It looks good in honesty if you arrange it correctly. Wood. Let's talk about the wood. All right, if you get yourself a piece of driftwood, right, from the pet store, they're kind of pricey for what it is. It's a piece of wood. Why does it cost $20? Why does this $20? Why is a piece of wood for $20 ain't nothing but a stick? So you'll be tempted to grab something from outside. You can do that, but the problem with that is it's gonna leach a lot of stuff. So you have to prep it. I'm not gonna get into all that. But what I will say is don't just go pick up a stick outside and throw it in your tank. You're gonna have water quality issues. Get yourself the fake logs. You know, for some reason the fake logs seem to be cheaper than the real logs. So and the real logs are more expensive. All you have to do, all these people do is collect it. So get yourself the fake stuff. Go fake. When you get real stuff, real logs, real plants, and real stuff, eventually you'll get there. But for starting out, go fake. The reason why I say get the fake stuff and eventually you'll get there, every time when you add a plant, there's issues concerning light. There's issues concerning feeding the plant. You know, if does it have enough food for this plant? So I'm saying, go easy, go cheap. Easy's the big one. I want you to be successful, and if it's too hard too soon, you're gonna get fed up. So that's where I'm at, Joy. Listen, if you guys out there, you're a creator and you want to be showcased on my channel, you have a question about aquariums, please hit me up on my email, and we could go ahead and make that happen. So